Nina stops by the gallery, and a concerned Ava says she's been texting and calling her. Ava has heard the short version from Rick about the custody hearing and asks Nina what happened. Nina cries that it was everything she feared and so much worse. Nina tells her that Drew has his hooks so deeply in Willow that she no longer recognizes her daughter. Ava can't believe Drew doesn't see that he is the problem in Willow's life. Nina says she's tried to tell him that, but Drew is threatening to take her and Portia down for drugging him should either of them step out of line. Nina fears the only way out of this now is to tell Willow the truth about sleeping with Drew. Ava points out that she advised that from the beginning. However, now she says Nina needs to be careful, as Willow may not believe her, or she'll believe Drew when he calls Nina a liar. With her out of the picture, Willow will only have Drew to lean on. As someone who alienated and lost her daughter, Ava tells Nina not to say a word right now, as she can't afford for Willow to shun her and cling to Drew. Drew comes home from a run, and Willow is shocked that he's already been up and out. She thinks she must have fallen back asleep and notes she's still so tired. Drew offers to make her breakfast, but she's not hungry. She has no motivation to start her morning without seeing her kids. Drew asks if Willow has thought about his proposal. She has, and she says Drew is the reason she lost her children, so she doesn't see how marrying him will help her get them back. Drew says she's right, and he should never have taken her to DC with him, and he should never have drawn up the guardianship papers. Willow makes excuses for him that justify why he did those things. Drew says the judge didn't understand his motives, which is why, from now on, they consult a lawyer before making any moves. Willow feels like getting married because a lawyer says so makes her feel like she's using him. Drew knows it's not the most romantic of proposals or weddings, but he says he wants to marry her no matter what. Plus, marriage makes sense to get her kids back. Martin arrives later and lays out his argument for Willow and Drew getting married. He also notes that with Drew's reputation restored, they have a chance to get custody back. Drew asks if that means Tracy is going to play ball. Martin says not happily, but she has little choice. Martin leaves, and Willow admits to Drew that the lawyer gave her some hope, and she can breathe again. She tells Drew they should get married. Willow and Drew kiss. Back at the gallery, Nina agrees with Ava and notes how fragile Willow was when she left the hospital. Drew wouldn't even let her go home with him and Willow. Nina then gets a text from Willow, who wants them to meet at the pool. Ava thinks that is a good sign, and Nina hopes Willow will be able to get through this after all. Michael is with Wiley and Christina at the pool, as Wiley is taking swim lessons again this summer. Wiley shows his dad how Uncle Drew taught him to hold his breath. When Wiley returns to his instructor, Christina tells Michael he covered nicely when Wiley mentioned Drew. Michael reflects on last summer when he and Willow hung out with Drew and the kids, and wonders if he was just oblivious to what was going on. Christina tells him that he needs to not let his anger for Drew consume him, as she knows a little about that with what happened with Ava. He needs to be careful not to do or say something he can't take back. Michael says it seems like she's talking about something else and asks what she did. Christina insists she's done nothing. She doesn't want to see his anger for Drew and Willow take any more from him. She points out that he has the kids, he's home and healthy, and that's what matters. Michael tells her that she's right, and he'll focus on the kids when he feels the need for revenge. He still hopes Willow gets to a place that she can be around the kids, but he doesn't know if and when he'll feel comfortable letting her see them. Wiley gets out of the pool and is hungry, so Michael suggests they go home and get a sandwich. Michael invites Christina to join them, and they take off. They leave Wiley's Lila's Kids t-shirt behind. Curtis visits Tracy at the Quartermain mansion to offer her a chance to work with him and give Drew the setback he deserves. She listens, and Curtis tells her that, unfortunately, her arrest on the red carpet at the nurses' ball has shifted the public's perception of Drew, and he looks like a victim now. Tracy insists Drew framed her, which is why Curtis says they need to find a way to get Drew to recant his accusation. Tracy tells him about Martin and Drew's offer for her to make a public apology to him and welcome him into the Quartermain family, but she isn't going to do that. Curtis wonders if they can get Martin to flip to their side. Tracy doesn't think so, as he wants revenge on her for having him arrested. Curtis explains he has someone trying to track down Jacinda and say that Drew took the drugs himself. That will force the PCPD to drop the charges against Tracy. Michael arrives home, and Tracy fills him in on what she and Curtis were talking about. Tracy is worried that if Curtis can't find Jacinda, nobody will believe she gave Drew the ketamine. Michael notes that ketamine is a drug used on horses. Emma and Gio are tossing a softball in the park. Emma pushes him to join her grandma's PCPD team, but Gio notes that that means playing with Dante. Suddenly, a beagle shows up, grabs Gio's glove, and runs off. They chase after the dog, and she has no collar, nor is anyone looking for her. Emma knows what to do. Anna tells Sonny that today is his day of reckoning and there is nothing he can do about it. She tells him that Corinthos Coffee's team is going down this summer. They trade friendly softball insults and then discuss how Emma and Gio seem to be good together. Later, A.D. Turner shows up to speak with Anna. Anna doesn't want to talk about Sonny today. Turner actually wants to play for her team and hears the league is a great networking opportunity. Turner gets a uniform from the coach, and Anna warns her that it can get competitive out there. Turner thanks Anna and knows they got off on the wrong foot. She thinks once Sonny is gone, they'll get along better. Sonny approaches Gio and compliments his throwing arm. Sonny invites the boy to play for Corinthos Coffee. Gio notes his team plays the PCPD, Deception, and ELQ, which are all people he doesn't want to see now. Sonny believes he could have a lot of fun, and eventually, Gio agrees to play for Sonny's team. Emma returns with the dog, which isn't microchipped. She thinks it might be a stray, so she asks Gio to hold it so she can take a photo and post it online to see if anyone claims it. Later, Sonny has a run-in with D.A. Turner when a ball she misses comes toward him. He jokes with her that she's not much of a softball player, and Turner says she's been told as much. At her place, Trina and Kai are in bed. Kai tells her about his visit with Drew, who apologized to him and is shelving the documentary. Now he has to look to a different future, one without football, and Drew helped him with that by offering him a paid internship. Trina thinks he should take some time for himself, but Kai feels this gives him something to focus on right now. However, he wants to graduate from PCU and stay with her, so perhaps it's not the right time for him to relocate to DC. Later, Trina goes to the gallery to fill Ava in on the latest regarding Kai and Drew. She says Drew has offered Kai a job as his intern, and Drew doesn't want to let Kai go. Meanwhile, Kai stops by Drew's place to turn down his offer. Kai says relocating to DC is not the move for him. He wants to graduate and be with Trina. Willow and Nina meet at the pool. Willow looks everywhere around her, puzzling Nina. Willow finds Willie's t-shirt that he left behind. But Nina says Wiley hasn't been here. Willow insists that Wiley had a swim lesson today, and this t-shirt is his favorite. She needs to return it to him. At the park, Gio has lost sight of the dog, but she soon runs up to him, and Emma followed by Anna. The dog stole Anna's hat this time around. Emma still had no luck tracking down an owner, and if she can't find them, says she will keep the dog. She wants to call her Outback. Turner tells Sonny that she wasn't allowed to play ball as a kid because her mom feared she'd damage her teeth and waste all the money they spent on braces. Sonny says she does have a great smile, so she should smile more. She tells him to have a good game. He suggests she keep an eye on the ball in the future. At the gallery, Ava asks Trina if she tried to talk Kai out of taking Drew's job. Trina didn't, and she says Kai knows what he wants, and she likes that about him. She will support his choice, and besides, he's not moving to DC. Trina admits she wants Kai far away from Drew. At his place, Drew understands Kai putting Trina first, but the internship is flexible. He'd want him to come to DC a few times a year, but Kai can be based in Port Charles and represent Drew here while he's in DC. Drew tells Kai he is the type of person he wants on his team, and he's a natural. Kai accepts his offer and asks when he starts. At the pool, Nina tells Willow that now is not the time for her to go to the Quartermains. Nina spots Christina and calls her over. Christina came looking for the t-shirt they had found. Willow asks about the swim lesson, and Christina says Willie was able to swim across the pool in one breath. Christina takes the shirt from the dazed and clearly broken Willow. Nina asks Willow if she asked to meet here in hopes of seeing Willie. Willow says, of course she did. Nina reminds her that she's not allowed to see her kids, and she can't do anything to make the judge think she's violating the court's decision. Willow knows her mom is right, but it won't be like this for much longer. She tells her mom she'll be married to Drew by the time the visitation hearing is scheduled. Back at the Q's, Martin arrives to meet Tracy. Curtis and Michael are still there. Martin asks if he's setting up this press conference or not. Tracy jokes she's misplaced her statement, so Martin hands her a new one. She promptly rips it up, and Curtis tells Martin to set up the conference. Michael says the less they have to do with Drew, the better. Tracy agrees to perjure herself by reading Martin's poorly written statement. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, June 23rd, reveal that Brooke Lynn Quartermaine will talk to Tracy Quartermaine about swallowing her pride and taking advantage of an opportunity. This may be about the press conference and the statement Tracy's agreed to read, but it's clear that she has a few tricks up her sleeve. Now that Tracy is scheming with Curtis Ashford, this press conference could turn into a path to Drew Kane's downfall instead. Next, Kai Taylor will surprise Trina Robinson by admitting he took Drew up on his paid internship offer. Since Kai previously told Trina he was going to pass it up, she'll wonder what changed. Of course, Kai will sing Drew's praises again and talk about how he'll only have to be in DC a few times a year. Drew convinced Kai that he wouldn't have to relocate and that this could be a really great path forward for him. So Kai is on board. GH spoilers say that news will unsettle Trina and add to her concerns about Drew pulling Kai closer. Speaking of getting pulled closer, Jordan Ashford will find herself drawn to her ex-husband again on Monday's show. Jordan will smile as she talks to Curtis about the best feeling ever, so they'll share a nice moment while reminiscing. In Drew's office, he'll get some important updates from Martin Gray. Martin may point out that Tracy said yes to the press conference and leave Drew pleased. Drew will gush about this being the second best thing that's happened to him all day. The first one was obviously Willow Tate accepting his marriage proposal. Willow just alarmed Nina Reeves by admitting she plans to marry Drew before the visitation hearing. But Nina will try to change her mind on Monday's episode. Nina will assure Willow that waiting will be worth it, but Willow may choose to trust Drew when it comes to moving full speed ahead with their fast nuptials. As for Carly Spencer, she'll have a crucial question for Michael Corinthos. Carly will want to know if Michael is willing to keep Willow out of his children's lives for good. Michael is hopeful that he can eventually reach a point where he feels comfortable letting the wily Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos be around Willow. However, Carly will worry that May Day never come and wonder if Michael's strong enough to totally shut the door on Willow's involvement in the kids' lives. General Hospital spoilers say Michael will keep navigating things as best as he can for now, so stay tuned. General Hospital is sorta mental hospital these days, owing to Willow's breakdown. In the wake of her affair with Drew, estranged husband Michael sued for custody and won, and to put it mildly, she didn't take it well. What's next for Congressman Cutthroat's girlfriend is a big ol' question mark. Amelia is already asking for her mom, and while Michael seems open to the possibility of reuniting them, he doesn't feel that he can, not with her behavior being so erratic. And it may get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Anything is possible in the realm of her mental state, Caitlin McMullen tells Soap Opera Digest. I think at any given moment, or on any given day, it's kind of unpredictable. In other words, expect the unexpected. Could Willow go so far as to try to kidnap Wiley and Amelia? Given that her entire life has been one trauma after another, could her personality split in two, thereby necessitating a visit from dissociative identity disorder expert Vicki Buchanan? Next on GH, Jordan and Curtis take a stroll down memory lane. Meanwhile, Kai shares his plans with Trisha, and Nina is taken aback. In addition to Jordan and Curtis taking a trip down memory lane, General Hospital spoilers for Monday, June 23, 2025, will also focus on a rattled Portia and Tracy making a public display. On Monday, Jordan and Curtis take a trip down memory lane. This shouldn't come as a shock, because for months now, the two have been treating each other like confidants. Even though Jordan was briefly seeing Isaiah, and Curtis, of course, is married to Portia. But Jordan and Isaiah are no longer. Meanwhile, Curtis and Portia's marriage is on the rocks. If Jordan and Curtis are reflecting on their marriage or their time together, then the two may be growing closer and closer to a reunion. Is this the reason why Portia is rattled? Or is Portia rattled for another reason? Numerous reasons could cause this type of reaction. She knows her marriage is a hot mess right now, and she knows Curtis hates the fact that she monumentally lied to him again. Or this rattled vibe could be courtesy of Drew Kane. Speaking of Drew, he recently hired Kai to work for him. When the former football star shares his plans with Trina, how will she react? After all, she despises Drew and will have a problem containing her dislike for the man and her dislike for Kai working for Drew. Will Kai and Trina's relationship last now that Kai is Drew's congressional intern? Elsewhere, Nina is taken aback, and it's not hard to figure out why. She just found out that Willow has decided to marry Drew. Together, they hope their marriage will help them get Wiley and Amelia back. Will this news cause Nina to spill her one last remaining bombshell? It feels like Drew is up in everybody's business on Monday, including Tracy's. Look for her to make a public display. She's taking one for the team and trying to get the drugging Drew charges dropped. So she is letting Drew use the Quartermain name. Another part of the deal means reading a statement that would help repair Drew's reputation. Emma may have some competition. Gio and Emma's quality time together ended with a new lady in their lives during the June 20th, 2025 episode of General Hospital. As the businesses of Port Charles get ready for the annual softball game, Gio and Emma spent the afternoon playing their own game of catch. Emma tried convincing him to play for the PCPD, but he immediately shot that idea down, knowing he would have to be on a team with Dante. Things took a turn in the park when Gio's MIT was stolen by a mysterious little lady, a beagle. The two chased after her, and when Emma discovered she had no collar, she made it her mission to find the lost pup's owner. With Emma off on her search, Gio ran into his uncle-turned-grandfather, Sonny, who convinced him to play for Corinthos Coffee. Before the big game started, the beagle stole Anna's baseball cap, and when Emma revealed she had no luck finding her owner, she shocked her grandmother and roommate with her next idea. "I'm going to keep her, and I'm going to call her Outback," she decided, referencing both of her grandfathers, as well as Professor Dalton's, connections to Australia. As for the rest of the softball players, Sonny found himself pitted against one of his latest enemies on the PCED team, D.A. Turner, who he chose to charm rather than argue with. With only the PCPD and Corinthos Coffee at the baseball field so far, it's unknown what other teams are participating in this year's game. In the past, we've seen Aurora, ELQ, and even the Invader have all joined in for the festivities. But this year, Curtis may be far too preoccupied with Drew and his crumbling marriage to even remember the game. General Hospital spoilers and rumors tease in a possible leak. There will be a tragedy for Sasha Corbin at Daisy Gilmore Corinthos' christening. According to the leaker, Sophia's contract wasn't renewed, and Sasha won't be recast, meaning it could be the death of the character. It was an ominous anvil dropped in a recent GH episode when Michael Corinthos wanted Sasha to make him Daisy's guardian if something happened to her. At the end of that episode, a lurker stood outside and looked through a window as Sasha, Michael, and Wiley and Amelia Corinthos played with Daisy. The next episode, the lurker had gotten inside the Quartermain mansion and watched Daisy in her crib, turning on the musical mobile above it. The obvious lurker suspect is an off-the-rails Willow Tate, who was supposed to be taking a nap while Drew Kane talked to Kai Taylor. That would make sense, but since Wiley and Amelia also live in the Quartermain mansion, why did the intruder only go to Daisy's room? It's obvious that Danger is stalking Sasha, possibly in retaliation, but who's the target? Sasha herself, baby Daisy? Or will Sasha be collateral damage in a strike against Michael? Or possibly a strike against Jason Morgan or Sonny Corinthos? There is a new, although at the same time old enemy. We now must consider who may be behind this. In June 19th's episode, Jen Sidwell was revealed to have been the person who bribed Judge Eva Heron to give sole custody of Wiley and Amelia to Michael. But the question is, why he tried to kill Sasha before in a blackmail attempt to get his diamonds back her mother Holly Sutton stole. Sidwell was also the first person to find out Sasha was pregnant. He was sitting in the back of the GH chapel listening to her pray when she first found out. Then he and Sasha had another questionable interaction several months ago, when she made some kind of deal with him. It upset Jason. This was after Michael had been burned over 80% of his body in an attempt to kill Sonny by bombing his penthouse. Sidwell's still a suspect in that, at least by Sonny. Sidwell didn't like Sonny not selling him his peers, but why he paid off the judge to give custody to Michael is a different story entirely. Is it all connected? Will Sidwell be behind the tragedy at Daisy's christening and Sasha be killed? And why spare the baby? Because Sidwell will never be a grandpa. It doesn't make sense now, but it will. To longtime viewers of General Hospital, Lucas Jones will ring a bell, a character whose life has been filled with love, deception, and long-forgotten secrets. One of the intriguing aspects of his life revolves around his paternity. Although one loving father adopted him, his true origins present a very different story. If you've ever wondered who Lucas Jones's father is and how it all unfolded, here's the full story. Lucas Jones's biological father is Julian Jerome, one of General Hospital's most notorious mobsters. In the late 1980s, Julian had a romantic relationship with Cheryl Stansbury, and their brief time together led to Cheryl's pregnancy. But what was supposed to be a happy event turned quickly into tragedy. Cheryl had been deceived into thinking her baby had died immediately after birth. Lucas was alive and secretly adopted in an illegal black market deal with the help of Bobby Spencer, who desperately longed for a child. Eventually, the truth was revealed, and Cheryl was reunited with her son for a brief while. But tragedy yet again befell Cheryl when she died in a road accident, leaving Lucas an orphan. On her death, Bobby and her husband, Dr. Tony Jones, were given custody of Lucas and legally adopted him and brought him up as their own. Julian, on the other hand, disappeared from Port Charles for decades and was assumed dead until 2013 when he showed up under the name Derek Wells. He eventually came clean about his identity and his relationship to Lucas. Even though Julian attempted to connect with his son years away, combined with his life of crime, made it challenging for Lucas to embrace him completely. Whereas Lucas's biological father might have been Julian, the man who raised and loved him was Dr. Tony Jones. As Lucas's adoptive father, Tony played a central role in his life, offering guidance, unwavering love, and a steady presence. He was one of General Hospital's most respected doctors and a pillar of the Port Charles community. He was a support figure for Lucas throughout his childhood and teenage years, including during his coming-out story, one of the show's earliest significant LGBTQ+ storylines. Their relationship was strong, warm, and founded on trust. Tony died of encephalitis, and the loss shook Lucas. His death brought to an end a major part of Lucas's life. Even after many years, Tony's presence is still felt in General Hospital, particularly in Lucas becoming a doctor like him. Lucas's biological mother, Cheryl Stansbury, had only a brief presence in his life, but her story is undeniably tragic. Misinformed about the fate of her child and caught up in the turmoil of the Jerome household, Cheryl finally reunited with Lucas, only to pass away soon after. At the same time, Bobby Spencer, starting as an adoptive mom in dubious conditions, transformed into a fiercely protective and loving parent. She provided Lucas with the type of upbringing that Cheryl never got the opportunity to give. Lucas' family is complicated. He also has half-siblings, Sam McCall, Julian's daughter with Alexis Davis, and Leo Falconeri, Julian's son with Olivia Falconeri. These added new dynamics to Lucas's life in General Hospital, as he explained his complicated family history. It is a tale of identity searching, reconciling the past, and choosing love over heritage. Whether it comes to his father's criminal history or paying homage to the man who raised him, Lucas has always remained centered in who he is. His journey on General Hospital stands as a powerful example of resilience. He came up amid mayhem, but found his strength in the individuals who genuinely cared for him. Today, He is a character defined by both his history and his decisions, and a reminder that family is not necessarily about blood, but about love, trust, and loyalty. The official General Hospital YouTube account posted a video on June 20th, 2025, teasing the events unfolding in tonight's episode. In the spoiler preview for the June 20th, 2025 episode, Kai receives an offer from Drew. He explains how Drew offered him a paid position. Kai says, however, the preview does not illuminate what Drew has in store for Kai. Meanwhile, Michael confronts Christina. He asks whether she is talking about something specific. Michael remarks. As Michael wonders what Christina is talking about, fans are eager to find out what happens next on the ABC soap opera. Later, in the video sneak peek of General Hospital, Anna tries to comfort Sonny. She tells Sonny that there is nothing he can do about the day of reckoning. Anna states, with Kai receiving a surprising offer and Michael confronting Christina, the spoiler preview for the June 20th, 2025 episode promises several dramatic events that are likely to unfold. According to the spoilers for the June 20th, 2025 episode of General Hospital, Emma will meet Gio at the park. Their encounter is likely to be something more than just casual, with Gio learning that he is the biological son of Brooklyn and Dante, and Emma losing the lab assistant position to Joss. The two of them will share a close moment. It is expected that they will talk about their frustrations and everything that has been weighing on them. Considering their honesty and shared chemistry, they will establish a whole new level of understanding. The spoilers suggest something may happen between them, pushing their friendship into something else. On the other hand, Michael spends some time with Christina at the pool. She talks about everything that has been going on with Drew and Willow and warns Michael not to let his guard down. Christina refuses to hold back, especially considering what Drew has been doing behind the scenes. She says Michael needs to be more careful about who he trusts. Meanwhile, on General Hospital, Ava meets Nina and gives her advice. Nina is already under pressure with Drew, using the drugging ordeal against her. Ava offers a strategy that Nina can use to save herself. Although it is unclear whether Nina would follow Ava's advice, she seems desperate enough to listen. Ava explains that waiting around would only make things worse. Elsewhere, Willow makes a big announcement in front of everyone. After losing her children and battling her mental health, she finally responds to Drew's proposal. Although the spoilers do not reveal whether she accepts the proposal, her answer will likely be the talk of the day. Willow will either try to build something new with Drew or make a choice that pushes her in a different direction, leading to a turning point in her storyline. Later, in General Hospital, Tracy gets pushed back to a corner. Drew and Martin force her to agree to their terms, but Tracy refuses to comply, saying she does not like their stance. Tracy offers Drew a deal where she proposes to walk away from the Quartermain name if he fixes what he did to her. However, with Drew using outside leverage, Tracy needs to decide whether she wants to play along or fight back. Trina assures Jocelyn that Drew will be stopped, while Congressman Cutthroat has another offer for Kai, and Sonny's fury could turn fatal. The next General Hospital spoilers video for Thursday, June 19th, 2025, shows Trina vowing that Drew will be stopped, while Jordan admits to stirred-up feelings about Curtis, and Sonny demands answers from Sidwell. Jocelyn says, "Someone's got to stop him," and Trina replies, "Somebody will, count on it." Hopefully, Trina doesn't go to the Christina Corinthos School of Vengeance. Look how that turned out. Drew tells Kai, "There might be something else I can offer you." Is he going to send him off to the German clinic for more experimental surgery? Or perhaps he'll contact Days of Our Lives Dr. Rolf and have him devise a miracle cure? Jordan says to Anna, "Curtis' marriage is on the rocks, and I don't know how I feel about it." The Curtis and Jordan ship has already sailed, so she needs to squash any lingering feelings she has for her ex. Only soap opera drama can come of it. Jason asks Michael, "You sure you're okay with this?" They must be talking about Sasha's limitations on Michael's involvement in their baby's life. He should come up with a better plan that guarantees the Quartermains won't get their hands on Daisy, and he can have a relationship with her. Sidwell asks someone, "Do we have a deal?" While Sonny states in no uncertain terms, "No one threatens my family and lives," the weekly teasers state that Sonny wants answers from Sidwell. So perhaps he's giving a warning to the baddie. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.